Rule-based functions, a rule, like in rulers, measurements, dimensions, geometry, right? Math functions, the math function of energy, consciousness-directed energy. I don't want to get lost in uncovering a big library this morning. I want to try and keep this a very tight camera focus, camera, right? And over the last couple of weeks, when I haven't been on the phone, I've been reading a few books here, particularly this one here, which is called The Alchemist. He's a great author when he covers using characters, which are character maps, to describe what we learn through our experiences, being connected with each other, right? And the emphasis throughout a number of these books, one is called The Necromancer. You know what necrosis is? That's called death of cells. Okay, so they're dead. That's your adrenochrome superhighway. Visual information highways, adrenochrome superhighways. Yeah, that's their superhighway. Routing traffic codes. Now we're into universal temples, universal and galactic temples, which are templates, which is an architecture, right? And so the necromancer is using magic to do what? Animate the dead, animate the objects. What's an object? A character map that we experience in our mirror by virtue of the energy that we use to experience it in our mirror. So to go back to the rule-based part, and I've covered in a couple other videos that I've done throughout my whole life what I've learned through experience, how this relates to rules and, if you will, base law, like B or A. A is 1. Ba, like in barium, right? Barium. I've had a barium swallow. And what were they wanting me to drink barium for? Take pictures. Oh, like chemtrails, barium, strontium, copper sulfate. Oh, what else were they putting in there? Well, I got a lab report one time because I did work in the field of environmental engineering for a period of time, right? So if you want to know what you have that exists within an energetic environment, some of the stuff that we used as technology to find that out was using a gold detector with a machine, chi, right? 3HI, 3HI. Using a gold detector to do what? Measure. The gold will detect the mass, the weight of the element that is spinning atoms, atom spherics. So the weight will tell you the property. Oh, the property, like in real estate property, you're mine. That property, which is that space, belongs to me, right? That energy is mine. That space is mine, right? So now we're back to law, the law of one, which is on E. The electric is on. Now we're into electrical power issues, the issues over power, and competing with one another, knowing one from the other over control over grids, grid gateway networks, competing for control. So this morning, I thought about all the different people that I contacted when the power went off, right here in the house, because you know who Aaron is. I've certainly shared with you the relationship I've had with Aaron, right? I gave him $500. He kept it and then had the power shut off about, what was it, a week later? Somewhere right around in there, right? And how could he not know what that would do to me? So the property owner made a very brilliant remark yesterday when he said, if we weren't able to get the power back on, say, in the time in which we were able to do that, if you were on a machine, like dialysis, you could be dead. Well, you know how it is, Jason. They follow rules. And the rules that they follow break the highest law, which is the highest gold detector, right? Because they're going in the other direction, which is a black hole, 55 harmonic, because they're following the rule of the beast system. And so the reason that they follow the rule is because they've been programmed to follow the rule, and they live in fear of not following the rule, because then they're going to learn they're going to lose what? Electrons. It comes in the form of numbers in their bank account, which is a biometric account. That means that they are trapped in a system that is using the force field to force them through their own free choices to do things that could, by the Nuremberg transcript trials, land them in a prison. Remember, Chief Justice Robert Jackson said there are crimes against humanity that humans, the human, cannot tolerate to ignore. But they are ignoring the crimes because they're following the rules of the program, the APIN network program, the network, net, like in nets that catch souls, trap the soul into a network based on the 666 beast system technology that came online, which is a dead spiral. So they're logged in to a death spiral, and they are following the rules of a dead spiral, which is a dead magnet, which is dead light. And that means it's finite, which means it has a finite shelf life before it what? Compresses to the point that it implodes and it explodes and goes nova. So we know when that was. We got the data. So I was reading through some of the stuff here in this book, which was The Alchemist, and I thought I'd share a few of these things of how it's related to the stories. And one of these characters is called Skatlich, said here in response to a girl named Sophie. And Sophie, which is a female, has a twin brother. The twin brother has a gold aura. Sophie has a silver aura. And Skatlich said, have you ever wondered why they drink blood? They're actually dead. Their hearts do not beat. They have no need to eat, so the blood provides no sustenance for them. So then we go back over here to where it says awakened is when the sense can go on and off. Your senses are stuck on at the moment. The moment, which is a magnetic moment, which is the speed at which the two planetary magnets are opening and closing the magnetic circuits, which is what we're experiencing at the moment. So then I jumped forward here. Where are you? Where the lady was talking about the sense of, where did you go? The five senses. Now, you can tie this directly into a four-square tetrahedron. And when you look at the cross, you have north, right, east, south, and west. And so you have earth, wind, water, and fire. And if you will, the discussion we have about which one is the most powerful spirit. When you get into the elementals, when you are an oversoul polarity integrator, which is pre-phase, and then we're into programmable matter, programming the frequencies that represent the codes, and the codes represent the template that we're running, which is a Stargate map that allows our consciousness, our soul arcing spiritual energy consciousness, the essence of who we are in spirit, to translocate, which is a hyperspeed, which is hyperseed, which is Godspeed, which means they cannot take a picture of the codes because the flashlight sequences are moving too fast between source and what we experience here in density waves, D waves, which is half the circle of light. So you have half the circle of light, which is light, and the other one, which is black. Oh, whoa. So what happens when the silver spiral and the gold spiral, known as twins, twinning, twin flames, become one blast furnace? A twin braided silver and gold spiral become one. The Christic spiral of one. Now we're experiencing what love is, that goes on forever, gifting electrons at the highest speed ratio harmonic. Now we're experiencing the one, the source from which it all began. And that's known as asexual. Non-sexual. I haven't experienced anything yet. So I'm experiencing absolute love, which is eternal love, which is on fire to accelerate the highest speed ratio harmonic of electrons or electromagnetic energy that is flashing in and out so fast they can't take a picture of the Guardian Codex, because everything is always changing the locks, just like on tumblers, the numbers. Dante Sartori gave that little bit and bite of information away in one of his videos. It hasn't been invented yet, because things here move at what? Such a slower rate of speed. Oh, yeah, that's moving at a slower rate of speed. The disk drive motor, which is the disk space, is not learning up to speed. Now we're into awakening, which is when I lit myself on fire in December 2016. And you can say that's awaken, which is fully awakened, which means all of our motion sensors are now detecting everything. So now we realize the benefit of experiencing our heart and soul connection and the essence of our spirit, which is experiencing everything that we are connected to as living cells. So I am experiencing everything that you are, which is what I am, that I'm giving love to, because we are that hypersensitive, which is hyperspeed, which is hyperseed, which is God's seed, the first silver atom cell seed, the first one, the first torsion field movie generator player. Play 2, record 1. Records, record keeping, management activities, right? So I wanted to share that, and since I'm at 13:51 seconds and the 5G's off here at the house, so it'll take a while to get this up, but it was all about senses, your sense of smell, your sense of touch, right? Oh man, what I can hear, what I feel, the touch, ooh, that feels good, right? Lifts your spirit because we're connected to all the cells, which is the planetary cellular memory banks, right? A motherboard. I'm sensing everything that happens on the motherboard, right? So I don't want to repeat some of the videos that I've done before about sensors, motion detectors, spiritual energy that is in motion. But one of the things that this little book, where I lost a placeholder that I had, talked about returning nature, what we see in nature, to its natural form. When it's in its natural form, we're into form follows the math function. The math function of geometric form and flow of system design diagrams. Gram as the weight in the wave. The atoms that are vibrating at a higher rate of speed means you're experiencing more of what we're giving love to, which is everything at the single cell to the multi-cell of lower density and higher density across the entire multi-electromagnetic spectrum, which is the elemental command math function of working and dancing in spirit with all the elementals, which is known as the dance floor, the floor that we're dancing on, which is the planet's biofield. So when our feet are planted barely on the soil, now we're experiencing all the visual information that's being experienced across the entire planetary cellular memory bank terrain, connected with Mama, who is ascending with Sophia, the four square crystal, Christic consciousness, the Christic spiral consciousness of one, the first one, the first God, the first eternal true God of absolute love. We never lost our memory. I was always awake. When I was awake at 4 years of age, when I had this avatar up and running at full speed. Frequency modulation, navigating a gyrodome, or navigating gyrodome technology, which is navigating a consciousness field between losing and gaining speed based on the X marks the spot of blood exchange rate of electrons between inverters and accelerators to maintain the perfect balance with all atoms, which is the law of spheres, which is the law of love, which is in perfect balance. So we're experiencing the highest speed of atom, the first atom. Have a great day. I love you all. Be good to yourselves.